This episode of commandN.
Amber asks, WTF Pinterest?
A new TechCrunch competitor.
And Laura and I talk about SOPA and PIPA.
Welcome to episode 251 of commandN. I'm Amber. Hopefully all of you had a great holiday season and are getting into the new year in full swing. I have a few digital resolutions for 2012, including spending more time on LinkedIn and one of my new favorite social networks, Path. Speaking of digital resolutions, if you're like all of us in the commandN team, a new year is the perfect time to start up a new website or a new business. For all of us on the team, where we go to get our domain names is hover.com. It makes it super simple to sign up for a domain name. What I like the most about their service is the customer service. So you're always able to get in touch with an actual person on the other end of the line if you have any problems. If you want to transfer over all of your domain names, they also make it really easy using their concierge service. To get 10% off at Hover, all you have to do is go to commandN.hover.com and use the promo code commandN for your discount.
Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard about the SOPA and PIPA bills that some would say would threaten the very fabric of the internet.
So the Stop Online Piracy Act and the Protect IP Act are two bills that have been going through the US legislature in an effort to protect copyright holders. So the idea is that on whether it's Flickr or Facebook or all these major web services that we use every day, there are a lot of copyrighted works that may be improperly used, and the copyright holders want to have a mechanism in place for pursuing legal action against people who are using their works.
They say it will curb creativity, cost jobs, and even stifle free speech. Under the provisions of the bill, uploading clips of movies or TV shows to Facebook or YouTube could become a criminal act. Streaming of copyrighted content could land you with a 5-year jail term.
There's an awful lot of problems with the bills as they're now written. So for example, some enormous media companies obviously have a lot of copyrights they want to protect, and some of them also own ISPs. So under this bill, those companies could remove listings on their DNS servers for sites that they thought were in conflict with their copyright. And they can also stop payments to these sites, online payments as well, to shut them down. Now, the big issue is that these actions can be taken regardless of merit, and then the company that actually imposes these restrictions gains immunity from being persecuted, even if their actions were completely baseless.
Blogging sites like Tumblr, sites like Facebook have many different users with different subdomains, and if even one user is accused by a copyright holder of infringing on copyright, the whole system could be shut down, which would completely affect the internet and the way that we use it every day.
Finally, there's a lot of concern that it looks pretty terrible for the US to come out against countries like China and Iran for censoring their internet for political purposes, and then tell companies that they have these enormous and powerful levers that they can use without due process to, in effect, censor the American internet.
Even the White House has come out against the bills, saying that they're too broad and imprecisely written, that the way they've been constructed without a lot of input from the tech community and without any real thoughtfulness about the broad implications is a threat to American cybersecurity. In response to these concerns, some of the internet's biggest websites have come out and protest against the bills, including Reddit, Wikipedia, and Google.
And so with the tech giants participating in the largest online protest in history, it actually got results. Despite the support of the Motion Picture Association, Recording Industry Association of America, and other major backers, it seems that SOPA will not go through in its current form if it goes through at all. And while this is seen as a victory for many, there's no doubt that there will be future acts dealing with copyright. And all we can do is really hope that the powers that be bring the tech community and people that understand the implications in on this conversation, so that next time there are some bills that are a little more sensible and a little more measured to protect the copyright holders.
Grandad, they say, can you tell us what it was like in the days of the internet? You know, before SOPA. And I tell them,
If If you've been an avid TechCrunch reader over the past few years, you might recognize the name Sarah Lacey from the roster of people who have written for this service. Sarah has recently started her own technology site called Pandodaily. Like TechCrunch, they plan to focus on the startup community in Silicon Valley. You also might recognize some other contributors to the site from TechCrunch, including Michael Arrington. I've recently become a fan of the up-and-coming TV show Parks and Recreation, featuring one of my favorite female comedians, Amy Poehler. Well, another fan who was a little bit more creative than I am decided to create this ongoing loop of Ron Swanson, another character in the show, dancing non-stop. Take a look.
She worked every bit of some Chloe bags, like damn, wish she would have told me that. Ain't nothing wrong bringing the owe me back. The mama know her body so trophy glass. She worked every bit of some Chloe bags, like damn.
If you're already afraid of surfing and think it's too dangerous, this film is not going to help. Check out what this animator did with this group of people who have gone out surfing when they're facing the end of the world. Explosions, spaceships, all of that, yet these surfers still continue to want to try to catch the perfect wave. If your New Year's resolutions included doing things like losing weight, getting fit, eating better, don't worry, you do not have to do any of that anymore. There's a new product out that will help you get fit and look good without lifting a finger.
Introducing Photoshop by Adobé. Finally look the way you've always dreamed. The difference is clear. Just one application of Photoshop can give you results so dramatic, they're almost unrealistic. Use Healing Brush to target blemishes at their source by simply erasing them. ProPixel Intensifying Botanical Hydrojargon Microbead Extract infused with nutritive volumizing technology will leave your face virtually unrecognizable.
My skin feels like plastic.
Griffin Technologies DJ Cable is a must-have accessory for the fantastic iOS DJ app, which lets you spin and mix across twin virtual turntables using the music on your iOS device. So what the cable does is actually split your iPhone or iPad's output so that you can use one of these for queuing and monitoring what you're mixing, and the other one goes out to your speakers so that everyone can hear what's being played. The splitter works great. The only thing you should remember is that because it's really splitting the stereo receptors, both of the outputs are mono, so you're not going to get any trippy stereo effects or anything like that with your speakers. But at $20, the Griffin DJ Cable is really the best next step in your iOS DJ career.
One social network that has been causing a ton of buzz online over the past few months is Pinterest. According to Read Write Web, the site is now valued at more than $200 million. It's all about posting things that you love and things that inspire you. So for our web pick this week, the site is WTF Pinterest. This features all of those unusual things that you find on Pinterest that maybe aren't that inspiring, but definitely are unusual. That's all for today's episode. As always, you can find us online at commandN.tv. We're also on Google+ and many other places online. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
I was born way back in 1986. I'm an old man now, but I remember how it used to be.
It sounds so perverted. It's easy to remember.
There goes Jeff and his dirty single.
Can you tell us what it was like in the days of the internet? You know, before SOPA. And I tell them, when was that? Let me see. Sometime back in the early